In class, we spoke a lot about space and new technological ideas that are emerging for the future to come. But what really fascinated me the most was the idea of colonizing Mars. That to me is just such a crazy thing to think about, actually, us transporting humans from Earth to Mars, a whole completely foreign planet to us, and starting a second home there. A lot of the ideas about this are coming from a man named Elon Musk with his project known as Mars Colonial Transporter. It's a very vague project only because Musk does not want to release any details about this until his ship is actually up and running. But the gist is, he wants to build a flight system using reusable rocket engines and space capsules to transport humans to and from Mars after refueling at each location. The ship would be traveling nonstop and could hold about up to 100 people. Eventually, it would lead us to almost creating a second self sufficient home for Earth and serve as a backup base for humanity. On Mars, they would have everything that, hopefully, everything that we have here and more. And it would maybe lead us to being capable of building a completely new structures there in that different environment. It would open just so many different ideas for us. This idea to me is surprisingly just great. I think it's awesome, and I never even thought about the possibility of something like a natural disaster happening to Earth and completely wiping us out. Because if one of those natural disasters hits Earth, it's not only wiping out Earth, our planet, but it's also wiping out every known trace of humanity. And if that happens, what's left?
In class, we have been discussing strong AI and the possibility of another singularity happening because of them. The singularity that we think of when we associate AI with it is the idea that at a certain point in time, the strong AI is going to have the same brain capacity and thinking as a human, that they're going to have free thought, and this is thought to happen in the next 2 or 3 decades. And we're already starting to see all these very supercomputers that are coming out every other year from various companies that are, beating like the best human on Earth in checkers, and they're starting to become uh, very intelligent, more and more intelligent every year. So this idea that they're eventually going to become more intelligent than humans and that they're going to have free thought is a very scary idea to think about, because uh, anything could happen when they they are able to think better than us. They're going to want to take us over, and some crazy stuff could happen when you have a bunch of computers that are more intelligent than humans. So it's something that is going to become a really big issue in the near future, because we're going to have to figure out how to regulate and how much strong AI is there going to be out there in the world, and to what extent we're going to want to develop these computers. That's going to be the talk of the future.
In the last few class periods, we've discussed space exploration and the needed technology to get us to be able to sustain a healthy life on the planet Mars. As we stated in class, we do not at the moment have the proper technology for this. However, NASA has a plan, of course. I would like to share with you a couple of their ideas and just get you thinking about what maybe one day you could possibly be involved in. The first idea that NASA has that I found extremely interesting is the idea of sustained animation. The idea of sustained animation is a healthy, autopiloted rocket that will be able to drive itself to Mars while the astronauts are fully encased in a chamber, and they will be able to wake up once they get to Mars and be able to live just as they were on the planet Earth. The second idea that I would like to share with you is fusion fission propulsion. Fusion occurs when two nuclei combined and release energy. This energy is then used, or could be used, to propel a rocket all the way to Mars. I've never thought of this for space technology before. I've only heard it in a chemistry class, but I find it a wonderful idea. It'll save on fuel, it'll save on resources, and could one day lead to us, every average individual living on the planet Mars. Another idea we've discussed in class is the idea of space pit stops. Since we do not have any colonies on the planet Mars at the moment, we would have to have a pit stop or like a grocery store to get the needed resources. These resources would include water, soil, fuel, food, and other objects to maintain and sustain our daily lives. But all these ideas, if you're catching on, is how we are going to get to the point of living on Mars. But what are we going to do once we live in outer space? Well, NASA has a plan. Of course, it's the craziest plan so far, but it is the idea of bioprinting. Bioprinting is similar to the idea of 3D printing that we have on Earth right now, and with bioprinting, we would be able to print our own food and other needed resources to maintain a healthy daily life. I can't even imagine living in outer space, but if we have all of these tactics in place, anything's possible.